Hi guys, Ryu here, and let's tackle this tripod thing, shall we? So now there are two ways of working on this, right? We could go hard way and go easy way, and to be honest, I'm a person who likes to go easy way if I can, because time matters, right? So now what we want to do is we want to work on one of these legs, but the rotation is a bit skewed, so what we're going to do is duplicate them bring them in here, remove all the modifiers, grab a cube, okay, and move the cube in here on X, make it a little bit bigger, so change pivot to individual origins. I want to make it longer, and it's gonna be easier to align. Now grab this thing and make sure that your face orientation and align rotation to target, snap to face and align rotation to target is on, and then grab G and literally align it to target. But you see that it doesn't really work well. Even when I reset the rotation, right, it just doesn't snap properly. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do it manually. So again, grab one of these legs and remove everything, and we're going to actually rotate it, okay, and try to align it more or less with the y-axis, sorry, x-axis. Now the only thing I need from this is dimensions, okay? So I'm going to simply grab this, right, where is it, this the one, and GG and move it here, okay? It doesn't have to be exactly of the same dimensions, because it's just nothing to be precise about, but you want to be more or less precise. So now I want a thickness, right? I want to grab the thickness, which is more or less the same. So GZ and move it a little bit down like this, and now I want to add the width of it, so GG and just move it in here, and we get more or less the same item, right? More or less. We can actually compare it if it's actually fitting, and it's fitting. So we can delete this junk and we can actually work on this one and then simply rearrange it to fit into these openings. So let's bring our origin to geometry. Now we're gonna slice it. So what we can do is Shift D this and make it smaller, and make it smaller on X and move it in here, okay? And we literally can make it even smaller, to be honest, so make it smaller like this, thinner. And before we do anything, what we can do is actually n-gon this, so n-gon cut it. So I'm going to grab a cube and I'm going to bring it in here, and I'm going to grab these two edges and add some n-gon, bevels, and make this a little bit more the angle a little bit less aggressive, so kind of like flat looking. And now I need to think, if I wanted to, let's rotate it holding R, GZ, move it to the top. If I wanted to flatten it from the top or from the bottom, I have no clue. Let me see. Control minus, and let's see how we're looking. Let's move this shape to, what are we cutting? What's happening here? Wait. Let's go back in time a little bit. GY, move it in here, and now it should be fine. So let's move this up again. You don't really have to rotate it, you can move it up, it's the same thing really. Somewhere here, and control minus, there we go. Now that's too deep, right? Because I just want to create like a design cut in that leg, okay? So just a groove or something like this, right? From the side, see what I mean? A flat one, right? And we can actually duplicate this thing and bring it in here and rotate it, okay? Bring it down here and make it smaller, and cut it somewhere here, maybe like this. So control minus, and we need to make it wider, so GY, so it actually fits into the cut, right? Now let's see, that's a little bit too strong. Let's make it shallower, like really shallow, okay? Something like that. That's pretty cool. And before we do anything, we need to duplicate this shape, so Shift D and make it larger, okay? And move it out here, okay? And remove all the booleans, because we will not need them on this. Perfect. So that's that, and I'll explain this piece in a minute. So now let's go back to this cube, right? And let's make it larger and side view, and Alt Z to go back. And now let's actually apply scale, and let's Shift G to direction, and then let's apply the bevels, and let's actually array this, okay? In fact, you know what? Maybe not bevels, maybe chamfers. Maybe. It's gonna look a bit more angular. Let's add some array here, and do something like that, and increase the number of iterations to the count to maybe that many. And let's move it on X here, and we need to flatten it so it's a bit too thick, something like that. And a control minus, right? Perfect. So maybe that's a bit too flat, something like this. Wait, did I? Yes. Select only the cutter, that was my bad. So hold shift and you can reposition it kind of, it doesn't have to be super accurate, something like that. And now shift D and X and move it in here, right? And cut the same thing here. However, this one could be a little bit larger. So whoops, select just the cutter and make it larger like this, okay? So GX and something like that, and that will do. I'm actually even make it taller. Maybe it's gonna look cool. Something like this will do. All right. So now we got this piece going over the other piece. So let's separate them. Okay. Go to this view, and what we need to do is grab this face, insert it, right? And we need to literally, in fact, what we could do. Yeah, that's fine. Let's just simply, bring it in. But I have to see what I'm doing. So again, GX and move it in down to here, okay? So now we've got this opening in the middle, which is exactly what I wanted. And I want to, before I actually boolean this, right, I want to actually curve these edges. So I wanted to, bevel them like this, okay? So they're going to be a bit more curvy. And there's a chance that this bevel is a little bit too harsh, you see? It's encroaching on the bevel. So we need to bring the boolean up, which means, where are we? Here. Let's go to side view, grab this boolean, and let's see if it's not too tall. So let's SZ it and make it a little bit less aggressive. So, because I don't want it to, destroy the bevels, you see? Gotta go below the bevel, a little bit lower, because you need to make space for the bevels, okay? Because this thing is going to be beveled as well. So you see, it's actually hotlining with this line of the bevel over there. Not having it actually smoothed out, it's helping us now to, sort of narrow down distance between the both edges, right? Whoops, just select where is the cutter? This one. Select the cutter and let's move it. Somewhere here is fine. Perfect. All right, that should do. So now what we need to do is actually bevel the exterior, right? So, apply scale, and if you haven't yet, and we can turn off this X-ray because it's confusing, and we can actually bevel these edges like this. In fact, you know what? Let's grab both of them. So let's apply the booleans. In fact, yeah, that's fine. We can apply the booleans, all of them. Not remove them, I mean apply them. So again here, apply all the booleans, and what we're gonna do is select both items, okay, and go to edit mode and select these edges, this and the same at the bottom. And now we're gonna bevel them together, okay? So something like that. But this one, I think, did we apply scale to this one? I think we did. Yeah, I think we did. Okay, fine. That many will do. And select these two and literally smooth them out like that. And we peachy. And the same thing here. Smooth them out and we peachy. So everything is nice. Now, alright, so that works. On top of this, of course, we need a bevel. So we will add a bevel here. So bevel. And change to angle. And 3 segments and turn the clamping off. And let's now adjust the bevel, okay? So just a little bit. Now it's going to hotline something here. Let's see what's happening. Ah, right. So we can remove this. What we're going to do to remove this issue very easily is we're simply going to add a mirror. So let's add a mirror, and the mirror has to go across y-axis, right? and simply, let me see, not X, just Y. So across to the other side, and literally put it above everything and apply it. And then once you do that, what you can do is simply select all these faces, right? And press W twice, select these, and press F, and select these, and press F. And now let's see what else is causing a grief here. So these looks like some flip normals, to be honest. So let's go to, let me see that. What's going on in here? Let's actually turn on the auto smooth and shade it smooth. And now let's see what's happening here. Let's go to, let me see. Let's go to edit view. This one, right? So we can dissolve it. So dissolve vertice. And did it help? Not really. Wait, what's going on here? Let's dissolve these two edges. Dissolve edges, okay. And dissolve this edge, and everything is peachy. That was weird. And dissolve these two edges, and dissolve this edge, and everything should be fine. Now all we need to do is actually apply weighted normals, and I think it should solve the problem. There you go. So yes, let's mirror this again. So mirror it to the other side. We can actually leave this mirror alone for the time being, so we don't have to redo it later. I have this habit of applying mirrors because it's so easy to just mirror it in hard ups that, I don't have to worry about it. We don't need these lines, so we can remove them. And everything is sorted. Okay, so now we need bevel in here, in this area. Now, did we sort the... we haven't sorted it yet, I mean the cut in here, because we have a boolean in the middle. And remember, when we apply boolean, Blender is gonna create some weird connecting lines. So before that happens, what we can do is simply run a knife in the middle of this geo. So press C, go in here, past this end, the end face here. Press Z, then enter, and this should cut through, but it didn't. So let's do it again. So K, right? C, Z, click and enter, and now see. There we go. Now it's working. So now when I apply this boolean, right, we're gonna have this nice edge in the middle and no garbage. So it's gonna be clean. You see, beautiful and clean. If I apply this boolean here without doing that, it would be a problem. Now let's see if this actually doesn't hotline with our bevels in here. It doesn't. We don't have to cut this thing inside because it's not actually being it's not foldable on this side, right? It's only foldable on this side. So we don't have to do that. In fact, we could actually make it a little bit larger. Like this. So just make it thicker, really thick, right? Which is pretty cool. So there you go. Let's apply auto smooth in here. And shade smooth and bevel. So bevel modifier and angle, turn off clamping, and let's sort out this mess. We need segments, so 3, and let's see, something like that, and weighted normals. So weighted normals, where is it here? Alright, so this bevel, the boolean was applied, and let me show you the aftermath, right? You see these lines? That's always bad news, right? So we should really fix this, right? We should have fixed it before we apply the boolean, but I want to show you how to actually deal with it. So C, then Z, click and enter, and this should cut through, perfect. And now we can do is actually watch what happened to our bevel. You see, this is what I'm talking about. This is the problem, right? So that's why I really don't recommend applying booleans beforehand. But we're going to fix this, and I'll show you how to fix it. It's actually a cool example. So to be able to fix this, we need to move this point in here. That's the first thing, right? And this is going to be extremely hard to fix. So the easier way to do it, right, is simply to grab a cube, right? Move it in here. Where is it? We're in local. So grab a cube, move it in here, grab both of them, go to local here, and let's see, where is this edge? It's somewhere here, right? And simply slice it, you know, because that's the easiest way to fix this. And just apply, and you sort it. But you know, if we didn't have this option, we would be up the creek without a paddle, because it would just take a lot of time to fix it. But these kind of situations, they're gonna happen because you know, sometimes you get tired, you stop thinking, and you go faster than your brain, if you know what I mean, or just switch off and things happen, right? So you need to know how to solve these problems. So that's probably the easiest way to fix this. Just cut it and extend it, and you're done. So now we're done, and we need a bevel, right? So bevel, and we need this on 3 segments angle, and we need to fix this size of it, right? So something like this would do. And let's see what's happening in here. We need auto smooth and shade smooth, and we should be good. And of course we need weighted normals, because that's essential. And there we go. Now we got some weird shading in here, and I wonder why. Let's clean this up with machine tools. That didn't help. What's going on in here? I think that's the angle problem, okay? Let's see, maybe what we need to do is simply sharpen it up. You know, that's another thing, because sharpen, what it does, right? It removes edges from calculation of, from the auto smooth calculation. So if you're gonna mark it sharp, it might help. So let's mark them sharp here, all of them, and let's see if it's actually gonna help. So let's select these edges, right, all of them around here, and see if it's actually gonna help. So mark sharp, and let's just, you know, select all these and all these and all these here, and this one too, and these and these. Come on. And these, and literally mark them sharp, and let's see what's gonna happen. That also didn't really help. Fascinating. So this must be connected to the angle of the bevel. Let's apply the bevel, see how it looks. Ah, there we go. That's the problem. Okay then. Fine. So let's mark sharp the interior face as well. How about this one? Mark sharp. So what we could do actually, if this doesn't help, you could run edges from each of the corners, you see, and this is going to relax it. It's just a lot of work, and it technically could be done, but I don't really think it's necessary in this case. I mean, you know, we could do this, and this will relax it. So if you wanted to fix this, you could do it this way, right? This will fix the problem to an extent, at least. And there you go. And should be peachy. So I'm not going to do it because it will take ages, and I don't think it's going to be visible from a distance, but that's the way to fix this. This is just simply caused by the angle of the bevels falling into this geo. Anyway, so this would be our leg, and well, it's not finished yet, but more or less. And this one is of course too long, so what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna shrink it. But before we do that, there is still the boolean not applied, right? So let's make it a little bit shorter, and let's see. Let's move it over here. So the leg would be folding like this, okay? And then let's grab the boolean, and let's move it in here, okay? On top of this, like that. And we need to make it smaller, which means we need to make the array shorter because it's too long. And we could more or less overlap it with the distance from the beginning of the cut, from the face to the beginning of the first cut, should be more or less the same as in here. So we could just align these two. And the end's gonna be a bit different, right? Because at the end we're gonna create some kind of a like a leg or like a base. So maybe something along these lines. So let's create a circle. I don't know if I'm gonna stay with a circle. Don't know if I'm gonna stay with a circle, but I wanna show you what I mean. So let's bring it in here, right? And we could just make it a little bit smaller and move it in here, and you know, add some faces and insert it inside and move it up. So something like this, you know, this kind of a leg, right? So this would actually flow into it, which means, let me see, insert it one more time and then simply extrude it, right? And there would be some kind of a hinge or whatnot. We will think about it later, but something like this, you know, that the would allow you to place this gun flat on the surface. Maybe with some kind of a mechanism that you could change the tension or something. I don't know, but we can think about it later. And of course, this should be a little bit wider, so something like this. Yeah, that would do. Shade it smooth and outer smooth, right? So that should work. So something along these lines. So now, you know, what we could do is actually apply the boolean here. So go here and apply the mirror and the boolean. Just leave the other stuff, so the bevel and the weighted normals. And we can simply move these ones to cutters because we don't need them. So cutters. And this one too, cutters. And this one too, cutters. Perfect. So now we got this shape. Of course, we need to create some kind of a mechanism here, like a groove in which this, you know, this because this leg is gonna slide out and in and out, right? So we need some kind of a groove in here that will go along with. So kind of like I don't know, maybe some kind of a, you know, teeth or like cogwheel like pattern. So let's separate it to its own object and let's maybe solidify this. So add some solidify, and solidify should be above bevel and weighted normals, and move it up, something like this. Make it a little bit more narrow, so SY, and let's actually apply. Let's make it longer, and let's apply it. And then let's grab a cube. Let's bring it in here, make it smaller. And bring it down, and you know, somewhere here. And then a radius. Change the offset a bit. Come on. What on earth? Let's apply scale. Count 2. There we go. Not this one. This offset. There we go. Change the count number to that many. And literally cut it. So something like this. But maybe it's a bit too deep, so you know, move it outside a bit. Something like that. And in fact, you know what we could do? We could angle it. So let's have some fun with it, shall we? So bring it back, Alt H, and go to edit mode and literally rotate it, okay? But what we need to do is we need to make sure that this face is straight. So SZ0, like this. And this will create kind of like a cool groove, you see? So let's actually make it more, a little bit more narrow, like that. Not too narrow, but narrower. And change the number of the count to something a bit more manageable. So something like this will do. And that's pretty cool. I like it. So that will do. So let's apply the array and let's apply the boolean. So the boolean should be above the weighted normals and above the bevel. There you go. Now you can apply it. See? And let's see that. We're looking good. We're looking good. We could actually, it's the same situation here, you see. What we could do is actually select everything and sharpen it. So mark sharp might help a bit. And we could actually manipulate with the bevel a bit. So let's see. Let's make it just a little bit, smaller. The problem is also, I think, is the size of the scale of this object, because we are working on a tiny scale. In fact, this whole gun should be larger in scale, and we might do this later on. 0005, that's too small. Let's put a 5 here, and that's better. So, there we go. Alright, so we got this cut, and we could actually grab these two or 4 edges and curve them a little bit. So do something like this and apply scale beforehand. So there you go, and everything should be fine. Is it? No, it isn't. Let's see this. This one got selected. There we go. That's better. Okay, we can actually insert it inside a little bit, or make it a little bit shallower. So move the origin point to geometry and simply squash it a bit so it's not so prominent, right? And move this one up so it's somewhere here. You can show a little bit of this, and then we can actually cut some groove in it, right? So grab a cube, and alright, let's make this smaller and move it in here. In fact, let's move this one to the cursor. Where is the cursor? It's over there. Let's move the cursor in here, and then where is this cube? Let's move it back. Where is this cube now? Disappeared. There it is. Let's move it to the cursor. There we go. Because now it's in the middle, right? That's what I want. And let's make it longer and literally cut it in. So we don't want to cut it through, right? We want to just cut like a what I want is some kind of a mechanism here to like a release lock, you know what I mean? So don't make it too thin, because it can't be too thin, it's just not gonna make any sense. And we need to actually, you know what, we could actually leave this like that. It's kind of cool bevel, to be honest, interesting one. And we could technically not cut it but slash it. So let's do this again, shall we? Control select this one and control slash. There we go. That's better. Now we need to move this boolean above, weighted normals, and same thing, different day, same thing. And this will do for now, and we can work on this later because it's gonna be a smaller detail. But I want to make some kind of like a thumb pressed switch, you know what I mean? Now this is gonna be a bit of a beef, so what we need to do here, we need to cut it differently. So we're gonna extend it, GX, right? Extend it here, and we're gonna cut it. So let's grab a cube, and in fact we're gonna cut it later when we're gonna align it. So what we can do now, we can literally parent them. Okay, let me show you how to parent stuff. So before we do that, let's make sure that everything is applied. Apply the boolean. We can't do it because we need to remove the data. So let's do this one and then apply the boolean. So it's this one and this one too. This one is no booleans, perfect. So let's select all of these, okay? All these 3, and this one is 4th. Press Ctrl P and select Object Keep Transform, which will set parent to this one, okay? Meaning, if you move this object, all these other ones gonna move with it. You see this line? That's called parenting line, which means these are children. So if you, for example, want to select children of this object, you go to Shift G and select immediate children. And then you're going to select all the children of this object, okay? So the children are going to move with a parent. So when I rotate it, okay, right, or scale it, they will move with it, which is extremely convenient because we don't need to select all of them, we just select one. Now, what we want is to align this thing with this, right? So let's align it manually, okay? Let's align this manually. If you want to align something really precise, you can always, find like a common line to align with. So let's bring it in here. Needs to be more or less in the middle. So that will do. Go to a side view, and let's now, let me see that. Yeah, let's now select this face as a side one. So Shift 7, like that, perfect. And now what we're gonna do is literally gonna rotate it like that. Hold Shift, and we can literally align it from this side. So more or less like this, perfect. Now let's go to top view, and let's see, we're almost there, right? We're almost there. Move it a little bit higher, so you can press Z and grab this one, the middle one, right? And move it to junk. We don't need it anymore. Now we need to, manipulate with this. So what we're gonna do is select this and GZ and literally move it outside like this. Does it work? GY. Which one is it? GZ, Z? Nope. X. It's X. Okay. So double X. So GXX and move it outside here. So it's like this. And what we're gonna do is we want to GXX, move it a little bit inside, right? We're gonna actually grab these two, and we're going to bevel them from this side. Can we actually do that? Let's clean this up and let's see. We technically could do this. Technically. Let's mark this as sharp. Let me apply scale to it, and let's try now. Well, this would technically work to an extent, but it's not actually getting me where I want to be yet. So what we can do is literally make all of it smaller. Okay, so select the parent and make it smaller on all the x's except of this x-axis. So S, Shift, XX, right? And then we can actually make it smaller. In fact, you know what? We could make it smaller on the Z, which is probably Y, or actually is it Z? ZZ, okay. So S, Z, Z, and we're gonna make it flatter. That's what we're gonna do. Now GZZ, move it a little bit up, and GXX, move it a little bit inside, because we need to fit it inside, okay? That's the whole point of this operation, right? This is still too big, you see? So GZZ, and move it and scale it down, and GZZ, and move it a little bit up. It needs to fit in, okay? That's the whole point of this. What we could do, is actually, you know what, this would work. This will work. This will work. This will work. I can work with this one. I'll make this one a bit narrower, so GYY, I think, yeah. And scale it in so it fits inside of this, right? There we go. Okay, and this will do.